Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Today I've got a bait tip, and I'm going to talk about a bait that I always have in my arsenal, but it seems like it's a bait that I forget about a lot. And this time of year, midsummer, I'm out here, caught some big fish in the spring. Post-spawn now, we're catching a lot of rats. We're going through a lot of plastics. You got to go through 10 or 12 rats in order to catch a keeper. The bigger fish are hard to come by. That's when I start to think about this bait, and it always winds up back in my arsenal. And this is a goat. I think it's called a billy goat. They make different sizes of it. They have some great colors. This one happens to be a crayfish color, but they make a really great green pumpkin color. And I really think that this bait can imitate either a crayfish or a bluegill. So those two colors are going to be most prevalent here on the Delta. But what do I like about this? Number one, it is an extremely compact bait. I generally use a wide gap hook with about a quarter, maybe 3/16 or an 1/8 ounce sinker. That's enough to get this bait down very quickly, down to 4 or 5 feet, like we generally be, 3 to 5 feet, which we're generally fishing here on the Delta. But it is extremely versatile, as number one, you can take this, and like what we have in back of us with a lot of these toolies, I could throw it anywhere up there and get it as far back in as I can possibly get it. And it's not going to get hung up because it's so compact. Now, the other problems that you have with worms, especially soft worms, even if you get it in there and it doesn't hang up and you're twitching it around and it's bumping against toolies or pieces of wood, maybe you've got rock in there, that worm doesn't have much of a life, even if it doesn't get bit, because the head's going to get torn up. I can pull this through here time and time again, catch a ton of fish on it, and because it's made out of the Z-Man Elastec stuff, I can catch a ton of fish on it, and dragging it through this stuff is not going to mess the bait up. I can also put a skirt on this if I want to make it look more like a jig, but generally I fish them naked like this. Very versatile. When you're fishing shade pockets, like I don't know if you can see it out here, but if there's a 6-inch shade pocket, when I cast this into that pocket, it's going to drop straight down. It's not going to float like a worm or maybe a pack of craw or something. If it's not heavily weighted, it may tend to float out away from the shade line. This seems to fall almost straight down. So if you have a 6-inch shade line and you're casting it into that shade line, it's going to drop right in there. It's going to be at the base of that shade line where the fish are actually holding. Another advantage to this is it's a great bait for picking apart offshore cover. So as you're maybe motoring down the bank and you're pitching into toolies, and you see that submerged Eladia or what may be in front of the boat, it's a little dark patch, and you want to throw something out there and get down to the base of that, and basically all you're doing at that point is you're seeing a target, you're thinking a fish may be at the base of it, you're going to cast up in front of it, let that bait go straight down and get in the base, twitch it a couple of times. If the fish isn't there, you pull out, and then you're back to fishing the bank. Another thing you can do in the flats with this, maybe you've got 2-3 feet of water, a lot of heavy vegetation, some of it's clean, some of it's pretty nasty witch's hair. You can make that long cast, maybe a 1/4 ounce weight, let it get down into the vegetation and pop it up above it. Let it fall back down. Pop it up above and just kind of pop and drop all the way back to the boat, so you can cover a lot of water just like you would with a crankbait. And what happens is, as this bait pops up, it looks like a crayfish that's darting up, and as it's coming down, those legs will start to flutter and give it kind of a secondary chance to get that bite. So it's a reaction bite as it's pulling it up. As it stops and it flutters down, it's more of a, I don't want to let that thing, it got away from me once, but I'm going to come back and eat it. So anyhow, I want to just tell you guys, if you haven't fished this, number one, I don't work for Z-Man, as I don't work for any other product out here. I just like this bait. I forget about it a lot. I was out fishing it today. I've already caught a couple of fish on this, and it's back in my arsenal. It'll probably be in my arsenal until winter when I start pulling out my jerk baits and stuff like that. But if you haven't tried it, give this Z-Man I think they call it a goat or a goat toads or something. I'll put all the information on the different sizes and what it's actually called in the remarks. So give it a try, and if you do, let me know how you like it and how it works for you. I'll also say it not only catches a lot of fish, but for some reason, I mean, big fish eat crawdads, so this thing looks like a crawdad. It catches big fish too. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, we'll see you guys on the river. Good luck.